Why narcissists devalues and degrades you. Narcissists follow a cycle in relationships. That is idealization, devaluation, and discard. After initially putting you on a pedestal, they suddenly begin to find fault, leading to emotional confusion and pain. Devaluing others is a tactic narcissists use to maintain control. By lowering your self-esteem, they ensure that you remain dependent on them for approval. Narcissists crave attention but fear true emotional closeness. When a relationship becomes intimate, they feel vulnerable, prompting them to push you away through degradation. Many narcissists project their own deep insecurities onto others. By degrading you, they deflect from their inner feelings of inadequacy. To maintain their inflated self-image, narcissists must feel superior. This often means putting others down to prop themselves up. If you start to grow, gain confidence, or become independent, a narcissist may feel threatened. They devalue you to stunt your growth and keep you within their control. Degrading someone emotionally is a form of manipulation. It keeps you second-guessing your worth, leading you to seek validation from the narcissist. If you assert yourself or set boundaries, narcissists may retaliate through emotional devaluation as punishment for no longer playing by their rules. By degrading and gaslighting you simultaneously, narcissists create a state of confusion where you doubt your perceptions and memories, making you easier to manipulate. Initially, some narcissists can mimic empathy. Over time, as their true nature emerges, they begin to devalue those closest to them due to their inability to form genuine emotional connections. Degrading others is often a defense mechanism that shields the narcissist from confronting their emotional limitations or flaws. Narcissists often experience intense envy. If you possess qualities they lack, that is kindness, success, emotional intelligence, they may degrade you to neutralize their envy. Even within romantic partnerships, narcissists can become jealous of your friendships, talents, or attention from others. This jealousy often manifests as devaluation. A narcissist may target aspects of your identity, career, looks, values, to destabilize your sense of self. This makes you easier to control and mold into what they want. Ironically, narcissists fear abandonment deeply. To avoid being left, they may preemptively degrade you so that they can be the ones in control of living. Over time, narcissists often develop contempt for their partners or close associates, especially if the person sees through their facade or challenges them. The narcissist's ego is built on a fragile false self-image. Devaluing others helps uphold this illusion by distracting from their own emptiness. They may degrade you to others behind your back or compare you negatively to someone else. This triangulation tactic isolates and disorients you. By treating you poorly, narcissists test how much you'll tolerate. Your endurance becomes a twisted validation of their control. When you question them or hold them accountable, a narcissist may attack your character to shift the blame and avoid introspection. Even minor criticism can cause a narcissist to feel wounded, triggering disproportionate rage. Devaluation is their way of retaliating. Narcissists want to see themselves as perfect, so when your presence highlights their flaws or hypocrisy, they may degrade you to resolve the discomfort. Devaluation is used to reshape the story of your relationship. By casting you as flawed, they justify their mistreatment. A narcissist maintains dominance by ensuring you feel inferior. Degrading you is a means of reinforcing this imbalance. They exploit shame to weaken your defenses. Shaming your appearance, intelligence, or choices makes you easier to manipulate. Narcissists feed off emotional reactions. When they degrade you and you respond emotionally, it energizes them and gives them a sense of importance. They alternate praise and devaluation to keep you hooked. This psychological trick keeps you chasing the approval. By undermining your confidence and self-reliance, they increase your dependency on them, ensuring you won't leave. Degrading you often includes criticism of your friends, family, or career choices, cutting you off from outside support. They may degrade you to others to preemptively discredit you in case you speak out about their behavior. In an effort to control your perception, they may rewrite the past, downplay previous affection, or claim you're always the problem. Some narcissists grow bored once the honeymoon phase ends. Devaluation becomes a form of stimulation or drama to keep things exciting. Real love requires vulnerability and mutual respect. Narcissists often struggle to accept this and degrade those who offer it. A defining trait of narcissism is low empathy. They simply don't feel guilt or compassion for the harm they cause when they degrade others. Ultimately, the narcissist devalues and degrades you to support their false narrative that they are superior, blameless, and in control, no matter the emotional cost to you. Narcissists often view people as tools. Once they perceive that you no longer serve their needs, that is, attention, validation, financial support, and so on, they begin to devalue you, discarding what they see as obsolete. So if you are confident, self-aware, or emotionally intelligent, a narcissist may initially admire you, but later try to tear you down. Your strengths highlight their weaknesses, so they degrade you to feel less threatened. When you begin to notice the cracks in their persona, they feel exposed. Instead of self-reflection, they lash out through devaluation to punish you for noticing that they try so hard to hide. If you start pulling away emotionally, financially, or socially, the narcissist senses a loss of control. Degrading you becomes a tactic to pull you back into a submissive, dependent state. When you stop idealizing them and start reflecting their behavior back to them, they can't stand the image. Devaluing you is their way of destroying the mirror you've become. Narcissists often operate in black and white thinking. People are either perfect or worthless. Once you no longer fit their fantasy, they may flip and suddenly view you as all bad, triggering the devaluation phase. To protect their fragile ego, narcissists often externalize blame. You become the scapegoat for everything that goes wrong in their life, leading to constant criticism, shaming, and belittling. Narcissists constantly seek new sources of narcissistic supply. If they find someone new to idealize, they may begin degrading you as a way to emotionally detach and justify their shift in attention. Degradation can be a test to see how far they can push you. They observe how much you will tolerate, and if you stay, it confirms their control and encourages worse behavior. Narcissists often cannot stand to see others happy, especially if they aren't the cause of that happiness. So if you express joy, pride, or accomplishment, they may immediately try to devalue or dismiss it. In the narcissist's mind, loving you means owning you. If you start showing independence, growth, or self-love, they feel betrayed, so they punish you by tearing you down. When you open up emotionally or seek comfort instead of responding with empathy, a narcissist may ridicule or mock you. They perceive vulnerability as something to exploit or shame. They are creating chaos for control. Emotional chaos keeps you disoriented. By alternating between affection and degradation, narcissists keep you emotionally off balance, more likely to stay and less likely to question their actions. Any challenge to their viewpoint, memory, or decisions feels like an attack. Rather than accept they may be wrong, they degrade you to maintain the illusion that they are always right. Some narcissists get a psychological high from provoking emotional reactions. Degrading you triggers pain, confusion, or pleading, emotions that feed their need for power and drama. Devaluation is part of a long-term strategy. By gradually eroding your self-worth, they condition you to accept mistreatment as normal. So you no longer expect respect or reciprocity. When the novelty of a relationship fades, narcissists often lose interest. Instead of ending it maturely, they degrade you until you leave, allowing them to avoid blame. When narcissists feel powerless at work, socially, or otherwise, they often seek to regain control somewhere. Degrading a partner or close friend becomes a twisted way to feel dominant again. So if you've seen them in a vulnerable or failed moment, they may resent you for it. Devaluation is their way of diminishing you so that they can rise above the shame they feel. In toxic cycles, narcissists degrade you only to later come back with apologies and affection. That is love bombing. This push-pull dynamic keeps you emotionally invested and trauma bonded. If you don't act the way they want or reflect the image they try to portray, they may react with anger and shame. Degrading you becomes a punishment for not mirroring their fantasy self. Many narcissists grew up in environments of emotional neglect, criticism, or conditional love. They unconsciously repeat these patterns, projecting their past onto you. When frustrated or disappointed, narcissists don't know how to process their emotions healthily. Instead, they lash out, often targeting the nearest person with degradation and blame. By degrading you and making you react, narcissists can twist the narrative and claim you are the abuser. This tactic helps them gather sympathy and avoid accountability. They are testing their influence. Devaluation is a way to see how much of an impact they still have. If you cry, beg, or argue, they interpret that as evidence of their continued control. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.